Right now, I'm gonna get into the 3 quick tips to help you be more dominant with women so that whatever the case is, whether it be your girlfriend or a date you're on, you can express your masculinity and ultimately not get beta mailed and simped into oblivion. So let's not waste any time. Number 1 is that you have a purpose or a destiny that's bigger than you and bigger than any single woman. Let me put it like this. When you wake up in the morning, there should be a feeling. Like the moment you wake up, there should be something that hits you. There's something, a feeling, a thing that you need to do. Whether it be, obviously I prefer it be something bigger, something that really can support your life entirely. But even if it's just the gym, you should have something that you wake up excited for, ecstatic about, even if you have a great date. And I know if you have not had a lot of experience with women and you get that first great date, it's gonna feel good. It's probably gonna take up your attention. So maybe that first time, I'll give you a pass. But other than that, being able to have something, a craft, a creation, something bigger than anything else, that gives you an ability to not be needy, because you're not there, not only that, but you're not validating your whole masculinity, your whole just everything based on a woman. This was something that I even had some problems with when I was younger, because I had the whole mindset of I'm a ladies man, and that was my identity. So if I wasn't at one girl's house, I was at the next girl's house. But I get to a point where if you ever had a dry night or there's some drama with the girl, now I'm fed up. Now I'm over here irritated because I have everything based on pleasure or based on women. So the moment that shit isn't flying, now I'm stuck. You're stuck there with nothing. Whereas if you always have your craft is never gonna stop being there for you. It's never gonna stop being there for you day, night, morning, always there for you to be built and to be created. Because ultimately, man, sometimes to be good with women is to have ourselves and our life purpose and our ambitions on the right path. So with that being said, let's bring on number 2. And number 2 is, what is number 2? Oh yeah, very simple, very powerful, which is to stick your action to your words. I mean, a man is his word. They say things like that, honor, all that man code shit. Ultimately, that comes down to your word as a man. Now, don't get me wrong. We've all had moments where we bitched up and we got weak, especially if the girl is extremely beautiful, especially if we have, a connection with her, and especially if, let's be honest, if we're in scarcity with women. But ultimately, man, your woman, whatever the case is, even if it's a first or second date or your girlfriend especially, you need to make sure that she believes that when you say something, you mean it. And you yourself need to believe that shit as well. When she says, you should be able to get to a certain point with your girlfriend where she knows you, where if you're really serious and you get really serious, she understands that, okay, now's not the time to fucking play because he's really serious. There has to be that mutual level of respect for each other, because you see a lot of women, a lot of girlfriends who, they don't really take their man seriously. He could get angry and it's like, they don't even flinch. It's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm not really flinching, motherfucker. I don't really believe it. That's the problem. You need to get to a point where she believes everything you say. Where if tomorrow you said you wanted to be a brain surgeon or join the circus, she's gonna look at you like, oh shit, is he serious? Like, she doesn't feel as if your voice doesn't mean anything, that the things you say don't mean anything. Because ultimately, man, if you don't mean the shit that you say, she's not gonna take you seriously, and you're not gonna take yourself seriously, and your conscious, your subconscious is not gonna take yourself seriously. So stick your words to your actions. There's gonna be days where you have weak moments, but that doesn't mean you should destroy your identity of sticking to your word, because there's always time to improve, and ultimately that's what it comes down to, improving, and that's what this channel is here for. Now, number 3. Oh yeah, by the way, if it's first time here and you're interested in dating, relationship, self-improvement, and motivational content, start now by hitting that subscribe and bell notification button so you can join that elite notification game, bro, so you don't miss anything. So with that being said, number 3 is to have a great poker face and to remain neutral. Let me put it like this. As women, they tend to lean towards their right brain, the emotional half. As men, we tend to lean to our logical half. So our greatest strength is not letting our emotions like a woman. Our greatest strength is in our logic, our ability to be calm. Sorry, just say. So when you're in a situation, jokes aside, when you're in a situation with a girl, you want to be able to remain calm. You want to always have, let me put it like this. Your ace in the hole as a man is your ability to be indifferent. Your ability to always pull out that poker face in the back of your pocket whenever things get really, really serious. Because ultimately, man, what I notice is that if you plead with the girl emotionally, she doesn't really take it that seriously. If you get angry, She may take it seriously for that moment, but ultimately you're feeding her emotions by also getting emotional. When a woman really takes it seriously is when you show the ability to walk away. And that comes from that poker face and that neutral voice. That means you should be able to develop a voice where when you speak to her, you can be like, come over here, I just want to talk to you for a second. And she knows that you're serious. You're not always there like, hey, like, you know, totally, we would like just always talking on a friendly vibe. It should be different assets of your personality where she takes you seriously. Your masculinity is not just made up of being friendly or being this or being that. It's made up of everything. And your ability to be disciplined, to be, you know, just the same way if you had to lead your army, if you had to leave a group of men in war, you're gonna have to be rational. You're gonna have to be calm, but at the same time, you're gonna have to be very fucking firm. But at the same time, if you be very emotional, that's also not something that people wanna follow. People wanna follow a calm, strong leader, but one that has a good fucking poker face in the face of chaos. And that is ultimately what women bring sometimes, is chaos. And you gotta have that poker face. You gotta have that voice where your voice ends on a low tone. You're not over here like, listen, we need to talk. Like that type of shit. That is weak speak. You have to speak in a way where it's like, listen, we need to talk. I was thinking the other day, and to be honest, you see how my voice changed right there? The end of my pitches end on a low pitch, and that's very important. Bonus tip, have an abundancy mentality with women. Now here's the thing, it's very difficult to have an abundancy mentality with women if you ain't getting no bitches. That's the truth. Listen, I understand. Let me put it like this. You should make it your goal to get good with women. And that means dating women in abundance. Because at the end of the day, how are you gonna know what is really a quality woman if you don't date an abundance of women? If the next pretty girl who smiles at you and responds to your lines or your words, that's now the next wife. You don't have no references ultimately to judge her. That's why women don't respect guys who don't have a lot of choices, because they know you're just going for whatever you get. It loses value. How can they feel valuable if they know that let me put it like this. If you're a guy and you get a lot of women and then you choose a woman, she feels very valuable because she knows you had all these different options. It makes the connection and value of her becoming yours that much more meaningful because you have that abundance with women. And ultimately, man, when you meet that cute new girl, you just want to comment with the other girls. I know that feeling, but I'm telling you, man, really consider dating multiple women and making it the goal of getting good with women, period, in abundance. And then when you are a pimp in a hot tub with 5 bitches, then you can finally go, you know what? I'm sick of you bitches. I think I'm just gonna relax for a bit. That's when I'll give you that unleashed pass. Because otherwise, man, you might just end up biting a little too early on something serious, and then the next thing you know, you're like, hey man, I just got in a relationship, man. I knew a little bit, but then I got into a serious relationship, and now 5 years later, I'm back in square one. I feel like I was the beta male back before I even learned the shit. And ultimately, man, when you get good first, and then you get into a relationship long term, and then maybe you break up, whatever, and you get back into the game, maybe you're a little bit rusty, but because you got good first those years ago, it's gonna be like riding a bike. Whereas if you just made it your goal to get the first pretty girl, then you don't have those skill sets. And when years go by, your skill set will erode. And that shit is something that is not gonna be like riding a bike. So I'm leading that warning, man. I have an abundancy mentality with everything in life, man. It's a mindset thing. When you have an abundancy mentality, all the doors start flying open. And when you have that scarcity mentality, it seems like all the doors start shutting and you're just trying to hold on to whatever you have. And ultimately that, oftentimes with women, just leads to you losing her. And that right there is how to be dominant with women. Thank you for watching, man. With that being said, bro, subscribe, comment, and you know, I'm glad, man. It's just the beginning. I know content has been a little bit slow on this channel, but we stepping it up starting next week. We're gonna start having more and more content, and ultimately, we got so many things coming up. It's the summertime, man. I'm excited. So let's get this shit started, gentlemen. So with that being said, bro, I'll see you next video.